Type 1 is a GIST content question. Now, don't get too distracted by the names of these questions. They can sound a bit confusing. Concentrate instead on the example questions and tips for approaching each type. So, understanding the gist of a lecture or conversation means understanding the general topic or main idea. So, the GIST content questions ask you about the overall content of the lecture or conversation. So, questions might look like the following. What problem does the man have? What is the lecture mainly about? What are the speakers mainly discussing? So, you really want to eliminate choices that refer to only small portions of what you have listened to. Also, make sure to use your notes. Decide what overall theme ties the details in your notes together. Choose the answer that comes closest to describing this overall theme. The second type of question is a GIST purpose question. And GIST purpose questions focus on, of course, the purpose of the conversation or lecture, rather than on the content. So, for example, you might see questions like this. Why does the student visit the professor? Why does the professor explain X? Why does the student visit the registrar's office? So, it's important to remember that students in the United States visit professors during office hours for various reasons, including cases where a professor invites a student to come into their office to discuss performance on an assignment or any other reason. The purpose of a conversation is not always related to the conversation's main topic. For example, a student might visit his or her professor for the purpose of asking a question about a grading policy, but then the professor may spontaneously ask how the student is progressing on a research project, and then the rest of the conversation could be about that. So make sure that you identify the original reason that the student went to the professor's office. That way, you will have a better idea about how to choose the correct answer. Type 3. Type 3 is a detail question. These details are typically related directly or indirectly to the gist of the conversation or lecture, but they provide elaboration, support, or examples. In some cases where there is a long digression that is not clearly related to the main idea, you may be asked about some details of this digression. So, questions for the detail questions could look like this. What resulted from the invention of the X? According to the professor, what is one way that X can affect Y? And according to the professor, what is the main problem with the X theory? Now remember, you won't be asked about very minor points. The notes that you make should contain the major details from the conversation or the lecture. But be careful. Do not choose an answer only because it contains some of the words that were used in the conversation or lecture. Incorrect responses often contain words and phrases from the lecture or conversation. If you are unsure of the correct response, decide which of the choices is most consistent with the main idea. So let's take a look at some examples. I want you to listen to the recording. Make sure that you take notes. Then you will go to the next slide for a GIST content, GIST purpose, and detail question. After the audio stops, you will have 1 minute to answer the questions.
Hi. I was thinking of changing my major and was hoping you could help me.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what your current major is and what you're thinking of changing it to?
I'm a digital arts major, and I kind of want to change to biology.
All right. Is there a reason you want to switch?
Well, I really love animals, and if I switch, I could spend more time with them.
Would you consider a career as a veterinarian then? Or are you interested in marine biology?
I don't know. I didn't really think that far. Both of those sound good, though.
That's fair. You don't need to have those answers right now, but it's smart to be thinking about how switching your major can impact career possibilities.
That's a lot to think about.
You're right, it is, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but you don't sound like you're fully committed to the idea of switching yet, so I want to make sure we look at this from all angles.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Can you tell me what it is you're worried about?
Well, my friend was telling me that biology is pretty hard, so I don't know about that.
A lot of people worry about that, so what you're feeling is normal. And I want you to know that for some people, yes, biology is really difficult, but plenty of students really excel. Also, it's important that you know that it's only possible to change programs in the first year, so there is a time frame on this.
But how do I know if I'm one of those students that will excel?
I recommend that you do more research about being a biology major. Really find out as much as you can so that you can make an informed decision. It could be that once you have more information, you'll think you really can succeed.
That makes sense, but I'm not really sure how to research it more. Like, just go around talking to people?
You can make an appointment with the head of the biology program. Administrators are always happy to speak to students, especially when it means helping students in their college career. We all want to make sure you're on the right path for you. It wouldn't be good if you did switch over, but then realized you didn't like biology and wanted to switch back.
Okay, so I'll do the research and then try to figure things out.
Great, that sounds like a solid plan. Remember that you can always come back and talk to me if you think that would help. Also, it can be a good idea to talk the idea over with your family.
All right, I'm sure I can do that. Thanks for all your help.
Good luck.
Bye.
Okay, so what did you choose? Let's take a look at the answers. Number 1 is a gist content question. The correct answer is A. Why? The consultant says, "Can you tell me what you're worried about?" And the student replies, "Well, my friend was telling me that biology is pretty hard. And so I don't know about that." This is directly stating the worries of the student. So that makes the best answer, the most correct answer, A. Number 2 is a gist purpose question. The correct answer is B, because the student implicitly says, "Hi, I was thinking of changing my major and was hoping you could help me." Answers A, C, and D are incorrect because they are not the reason why the student is there. Number 3, this is a detail question. The correct answer is B. Why? You just have to do a little bit of synthesizing. Remember, the student says, "Okay, so I'll do the research and then try to figure things out." So the best answer is to do some research and then make a decision on what to do next. Answers A, C, and D are incorrect because they're not a plan for what's best for the student.